Hey friends, listen. A company reached out to me to find out if we, and by we I mean me and y'all, were interested in trying out one of their latest craft tools. And so I'm going to be unboxing it and doing a little demo here on the channel, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Pham the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook.
All right, guys, so listen, a couple of days ago this package came in. I did not have enough time to turn the camera on and, do the full unboxing and try it out. So I just pushed it off to the side so that I could dedicate enough time to it. Now, without further ado, I'm going to stop gabbing. I opened up the side of the package, but I have not actually opened up the box that it came in. So this is actually what I received, which is the Monvict full-size hot glue gun. And it apparently has some glue sticks, voltage 110 to 240 volt. Okay, now I thought this was a great idea because this is the full-size glue gun that I'm currently working with, right? I do have a silicone mat, which I typically use when I'm doing any type of project that utilizes paint or glue, hot glue, because it doesn't melt it and it doesn't stick to it, right? So let's just take a look and see what we've got. Oh, okay, so here it is, and let's see what it looks like in comparison to the one that I have from, I think from Hobby Lobby. I think it's from Hobby Lobby, I'm not sure. But you see the size glue stick that takes, right? Okay, so at first glance, I like the trigger. It's a little longer than this one. So, if you've got a lot going on, you can use 3 fingers. If you got tiny fingers, you might even be able to use 4 of them, right? But just gives you more control. So this was what I thought you all, including myself, would be interested in, was the fact that it has the ability to stand up on itself, on its own. And it's because there's a base that it attaches to. Okay, so that base attached to it allows you to, and we're wild with the glue. Wild once you have let's see, I'm going to take the cord out. Okay, so let's just pretend that we have the project on the table and we're going to demo it anyways. Oh, look see, that's what I'm talking about, just how wild we are. All right, so if I'm just crafting on along, I don't have to be super cautious of resting it down. The one thing I will say is that because the cord does not swivel, which I'm not sure if a glue stick cord could, I'm sure that there's some technology that they could add to it, but because it doesn't swivel, you have to be mindful of where the cord is being plugged into. If it's plugged in back that way, then you're probably going to have to set it down like that just so that it doesn't swing back around. Well, it doesn't look like there would be a problem with that anyways. So what I am going to do, now my outlet is a little further away than I care to have it, in which case when I'm gluing and using my embossing folder, I typically don't do it on camera because the cords never stretch. So this cord actually is a little bit longer than my other one, and let's take a look at the nozzle. Now, at first glance, one nozzle is narrow. This one is narrower than this one. Let me get that out the way. Looking here, the actual nozzle is more narrow than this one, but if we look side by side, we'll see that the opening is wider. Now that may be a good thing when we start using it, because it may allow for more glue to come out at one time with each pull of the trigger, or it may end up being where it oozes out. We don't know. We're going to test it out to see. Okay, so I'm going to pause for just a second, plug this baby up so I can get the glue stick in here going, and then we'll see what it's like, what it's given, right? And another thing I wanted you guys to notice is that this is my detail glue gun. This is my Sure Bonder. Okay. And the holes are the same size, it looks like. Let me make sure we got. Yep, they look about the same. We can get a good focus going. There we go. All right. So if I could, I like the fact that this has a larger glue stick holder. I mean, it takes larger glue sticks, which means you can get more work done on a larger project. Whereas this one is really, you know, you got the smaller glue sticks, and while they may be, it's smaller in size, you may need a larger one for, you know, larger projects or projects that, you know, like I have a placemat journal that I made using, and I didn't sew. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Now this is the one that I just recently finished on the channel. This one is sewn using a placemat, and inside is a composition notebook. Okay, so as you can see here, it's sewn. Well, let me show you here. The inside is sewn there. It's sewn there, and I did not have to sew the top because I added lace to there. However, using a similar technique, I did a placemat journal cover. I think I glued it directly to it. Yep, I certainly did. So this is permanently on here. And it's been about 4 years since I did this. So, and I can't believe I haven't used it in that amount of time. But nevertheless, it's out now. All right, so if you don't have a sewing machine, oftentimes you can use your glue gun to adhere and secure things where we would typically use the sewing and the needle and thread. All right, one moment. Okay, so I've pulled out a silicone mat just to catch any spills. If we get it, I'm going to go ahead. It's on low. It's on a low heat, which I prefer for now because I don't really know the difference between their 60 and their 100 watt. If you can see here, it's two settings, 60 and 100. There is no off switch, which means you would have to unplug it. So that is probably the only downside to this product, is that you'd have to remember to unplug it. For those of you who keep your glue guns plugged up, you'd have to unplug this one. Okay, we're going to see how long it takes to heat up, and I'll be back. All right, so I've pulled out some fabric and some floral trim because typically when I'm using my glue gun, I'm either adhering fabric to fabric or trim, lace trim, or, you know, some type of embroidered trim to fabric. And so I do need a little bit of accuracy, you know, to do that detail work. I'm rarely concerned about whether or not the glue will show, because I'm typically 9 times out of 10 going to be adhering something that, if the glue shows, you won't be able to see it anyways, because the fabrics are light. All right, so I've let this heat up for about 5 minutes. I stepped away to do something else, so we're going to see how well it adheres here. All right. I'll put that down, and let me cut a piece of this off, because let's just say I wanted to do a row this long, right? Cut this here, and you'll probably end up seeing this in a journal. Waste not, want not. Okay, so this is the right size. So I would typically, I'm gonna lay this down like that off the edge. So I would typically run a bead of glue. So you do have to familiarize yourself with the flow of the glue, okay? So, okay, so as you can see here, it did a great job of adhering that trim to the fabric, and I have no complaints. Did a really good job. I'm probably going to need to use that on a page, okay, or a pocket. Not a bad idea as a pocket. I don't know what journal I'm going to put it in because I didn't even think about the colors. But it's not that bad, nevertheless. All right, so let's move on to see what would happen, how we could use this in our everyday journal making activities. I just pulled some random ephemera and scraps around you. Now, I will say this, is that part is probably going to be problematic if you are attempting to get close to it, but you can always go off to the side. So let me put that back on there, and then I'm going to put the ephemera down, because when I'm trying to build layers with hot glue, I'm going to do it to a place in a way where it raises it up a bit. Okay, so put this down, put it down there. You won't see that. You won't see that anyways. Okay, you see a little bit of it off to the side, and we're just building. Let me see how I can use this. And then last but not least, I'll tuck him in there somewhere. So I'm going to put a little on the tail. So, and you know we're going to get the glue trails, but that's neither here nor there. That's no fault of the glue. It's the user, because there's a way you can do that where it doesn't do that, where it doesn't give you the strings. It's at least not as many. All right, so what are my thoughts? My thoughts are, for all intents and purposes, this is great if you can. This works when you're standing up. If you're sitting in a seated position and you're coming in at a lower angle, this is going to get in the way. But if you're working from top, this doesn't come out further than this. So you get what I'm saying? This doesn't come out further than this. So you can technically get down to the project. And perhaps even if you are sitting down, you could turn your project in a direction where you can see exactly what you're doing, as opposed to having the bottom of it, but the butt of it going towards you. So let me say this. I'm going to use it, okay? Because I like it. I like that the trigger has a nice flow for the glue. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of glue oozing out, but that may just be for now. So you get a 10 on that. You get a 10 on this. You could definitely get a 10 on this. You get a 9 on this because it doesn't have an off switch. So all in all, I'm going to give it a 9.5. I will leave a link below in the description box to take you to their site on Amazon, where you can purchase this. I think it was for less than $20. I think I paid $14 for the Sure Bonder maybe 8 years ago, so I know it may be going for a little bit more now. But nevertheless, I do recommend this. I will be using it, and I hope that you found this demo useful. All right, one thing I did forget to mention was that they did send this pack of finger protectors. Now, if you're not familiar with the concept, which I'm sure most of us are, you just simply put these on your finger to protect the tips from when you are maybe adhering trim, lace trim, or any type of fabric to another fabric, and you want to make sure that it's pressed down so that the glue gets in between the fibers. Or if you're putting smaller items down and you actually need to maneuver them around, like flat back pearls or those type of things. So they did include that. So in that box again was the glue gun, the glue sticks, and of course the finger protectors. Now listen, until we're back here together on YouTube and Patreon, my friends, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative and crafting. Bye for now.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.